Are you looking to draft a sleeve block so that you can start making your own funky sleeves to add on to your garments? Well, today you're in luck because we are going to pattern draft a sleeve block. Hi, I'm Christina and I love to flat pattern new and interesting garments and then make them out of the fabric that I love, creating my own unique wearable art. And today we're going to get started on this sleeve block now. Let me just pull up this screen right here so you can see my dotty paper. I have some rulers, I have French curve, pencil, scissors, and my measurements. So to get started, we're going to take the measurements that we have, and I'm going to start with my shoulder tip to hem of my sleeve. And for me, that measures 24 inches. So I'm going to begin by drafting that line 24 inches down on my paper. Then, since this ruler is 24 inches long, I'm also just going to do cross marks at the top and bottom. Line that up so that I know, that is right at that 90-degree angle, and I'm going to mark those lines. Let me move that up just a little bit to make sure you guys can see it. So that's going to be my shoulder point and my hem. The next measurement, actually I'm going to go ahead and mark that A, B. The next measurement is going to be the shoulder cap. Mine measures 6 inches, and this is a 6.5-inch ruler. So I want to make sure I put it on the 6 line, not the 6.5. And I always like to make sure that it is lined up in both directions. Then I can draw a line right across my paper like so. And that is going to be my C. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to need that measurement from the back sloper that we have. That will tell us how much our arm size need to be. Mine measures at 10 3/4. So I'm going to take my smaller ruler and I'm going to line it up top here at the 10 3/4 mark. And then I'm just going to keep it at that mark until it hits this line. Now I am real close to the edge here. So I'm just going to extend that out. 10 3/4. Woo! I definitely went tight on my line. What I like to do next is make sure that this bicep measurement here is measuring roughly 2 inches bigger than my bicep. I want to make sure that I have a little room in there and I won't find it to be too tight when I start. And right now my bicep measures at about 15 and this one is measuring at about 17.5. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that around and use that same measurement and get it to that side and connect my two marks. So that's A to D and A to E. Now, what we have to do is we actually have to create that curve of a line. And that curve, we're going to have to we want to divide this line into 4 equal parts. So 10 3/4 divided by 4 is 2 6/8, which is very close to 2 5/8. So I'm just going to go a hair's breadth over 2 5/8. Boop, boop. And work my way up this line. And did I start Okay, well, I started wrong. I started at 2.5 inch, not 5/8. So, double check what you are making, because I had messed up there on the end. So, 2.5/8, 2.5/8, 2.5/8, and then this should be 2.5/8. Perfect. Now we're going to do the other side. 2.5/8, 2.5/8, 2.5/8, and 2.5/8. We're good. So now that we have each one of these marked, we're going to be now moving off of our angular line out a certain amount. So one, I'm just going to mark these 6 notches. And this first notch, we are going to go in 3/8. So I also did not quite go far enough in on this line. So there we go. 1, 2, 3/8. Just like that. This next one, we're going to go 1/4 above the line. And then this last one is 5/8 above the line. And again, I didn't quite make that line long enough. So, oops, come on. Right on that line. And 5/8, right there. Now this one is 3/4. Number 4 is 3/4. Number 5 is 3/16. And this number 6 is 1/2 inch in towards there. So there we have it. So now I have each one of these marked where they need to go. So I'm going to pull out my French curve and begin to line them up. So I want to hit that corner point and those 2 points and draw, flip it around and mark that top point and draw. I want to do the same on this side, so find that top point, and if it's not exactly at that top point, you want to hit that line as close as you can to it, just like that. And then last time we're going to flip her over. Make sure you hold it nice and tight so that it doesn't move on you at all. And there we have that nice curve, so it'll fit around your shoulder. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to double check that this is about 3/4 of an inch bigger than my arm's eye. The reason why I want it bigger than my arm's eye is because you need just a little bit of ease to go over that shoulder point. And it'll help set that sleeve in nice and actually give you that room to go out and over your shoulder. So you can either use a flexible ruler like this, or I also really like these flexible rulers. So I start at one end, bend it around like so, and then what I'm going to do is lightly mark at that point so that I know that's 18 inches. And then I'm going to finish it 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 1/4. So right now, this part of my sleeve is measuring 22 1/4, and I have my arm's eye measurement at 21 1/2. So that's a perfect 3/4 inch ease in. So I'm very happy with that. So next, we're going to finish up with the hem. Now there are a few different ways you can do this. Some people do 2 inches less than your bicep measurement. Some people do 3.5, 3 inches less than this entire measurement. Everybody does it a little differently, and it really depends on the type of sleeve you're wanting to create. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wrist measurement and add 2 inches, very much like I did for my bicep. So I have a 9-inch wrist measurement. I'm adding 2 inches, so I'm going up to 11. So I'm going to add 5.5 inches on either side. So I'm going to just take this line out either side and then add 5.5 right there and add 5.5 right there. And then I'm going to connect my point to my point. Get that out from underneath there. There we go. And other side, point to point. There we have it. And that is our finished sleeve sloper right here. Now you must note that this is where the stitch line is. So make sure that if you are making this, you add your seam allowance however you like to do that. I also always recommend to actually build this out of muslin or cotton so that you can fit it and make sure that there are no alterations that need to happen to the sleeve before you really start diving into all the fun flat patterning you can do. There is so many amazing things that you can do with this, and you can definitely check out some of my other videos on how I digitally flat patterned this sleeve block into other fun sleeves. So definitely check out my sassy sleeve playlist right here so that you can start making your own sassy sleeves. And make sure to like and subscribe so that you can see some other flat pattern draftings, both hand and digital. And I look forward to seeing you in some of my other videos. Happy patterning!